guys, in today's video we're going to be unboxing and checking out Meet Your Maker's new 1 horsepower dual grind grinder. So let me find my box cutter and let's start the show. All right, let's open this thing up. Now, if this is your first time here on this channel, if you're into meat processing, sausage making, backyard barbecue grilling, do consider subscribing because we're all about that. Without further ado, let's get in. Now, I almost pulled out my back putting this box on the table. This packing list says this 1 horsepower dual grind grinder weighs 63 pounds. Woo! Now, you will want to stay and watch this whole video because I also got their meat stuffer, and so we're going to check that out after we unbox this one. And would you look at that? It is a box within a box. Now let's open this box up, which, you know, if your box is being shipped in a box, probably the packaging is done pretty well. Oh, nice. So right here we have little manual. Here we have, looks like the actual plate. Ooh, all right. Oh my gosh, that definitely has some weight to it. So this goes on the top, and it looks like you have your sausage horns in here. You have the thing to press the meat down, a knob in here. Well, that's kind of cool. Little butcher knife on there. Little logo. It's all those small little details. All right. Beautiful. You have a front cubby shelf. That's pretty cool. It actually is on a rail system. And then on the side here, you do have a forward, off, and reverse. What I'm blown away is just the weight on everything. Let's build it right now. So we're going to find the spline here, and we're just going to pop this bad boy in. And then we are going to lock this down like so. Now we're going to take our top, place it right into here. So now let's look at how the dual grind actually works. So like most meat grinders, you are going to have a plate that the meat is going to run through. So we're going to turn this, and this is going to come off. Now what's cool is, at least for this one, you do get 2 plates depending on how fine you want your meat ground to. But when we take this off, inside you're actually going to see this blade here, and then you're going to see another plate. So this is basically the first stage where the meat actually starts getting broken up, and then it passes through the second plate. And why this is an advantage, most people have to run their meat one through a coarse grind and then one through a fine grind, so they have to run it through twice. And with the dual grind feature, you actually save half the amount of time, so you only have to grind your meat once. All right, let's plug her in. Let's turn her on. It's not too loud. Woo! Now let's open up this little goodie bag. So inside here is a tool to basically help press down your meat. And then this little star nut shape is to actually help hold its shape in here when you're actually using the sausage components. But we actually won't be using these on the grinder, even though you can, because now it's time to check out the sausage. You don't make your stuff light, do you? Now to save time, I actually did end up putting the crank arm on this already, but oh, here is 15-pound sausage press Good Lord. And it's 15 pounds of meat that you can actually store in here. This product weighs way more than 15 pounds, but very, very simple on how to use. The crank arm in the back will actually lower and raise the actual press part. And what you're doing is you're filling this thing up with your ground meat, and then you're cranking this down to actually make your sausage. So let me raise this up all the way. This thing will come out. And yeah, all you have to do is whatever this grinds up, you then will mix up your seasonings and salt ratios and all that stuff. And then all you got to do is just put it in here. This thing goes right in, and it has these tabs, so it's very easy to just set it in place. And then once you start bringing this thing down, it will kind of auto align itself. It will make a nice tight seal. And then as you slowly start pressing this, your meat is going to come out. And then all you have to do is decide how thick of a casing you're going to use. Say we're going to go with this size. All we do is you just put it in here, and then once this gets put on, and then from there all you do is you'll slide on your casing, and then as you're pressing it, your sausage is going to start coming out. The one complaint that I've heard, and it's not just with this sausage press, but just a lot of presses in general, is even though it's a hefty unit and it weighs a lot, when you're cranking that handle, it feels like there's a lot of instability when it's on your table. Now, mind you, at the base, it does give you 4 holes that you can actually bolt this thing down, either a workbench or wherever you're going to be grinding. But say if that's not practical, I like to think outside the box. It's very rare to find people that actually do. So if I'm going to be using it on this table and I do not want to drill into the table, my fix for this is literally getting some plywood and then bolting and screwing this unit into the plywood and then clamping the plywood to the table. Not very hard to do, especially if you're trying to do it by yourself. So again, that's just thinking outside the box. If you are having that issue, something to think about. So what are my initial thoughts? I love it. These things are awesome. These things are heavy duty. I do want to actually get into making sausage content. It's very easy to get into backyard barbecue and to master, a brisket, master pulled pork, doing a nice rack of ribs. But then there's smoked sausage, and it's like, well, you could buy something that's pre-made for you. So now we're entering kind of next level barbecue. Something that I'm super guilty of is whenever I'm trimming a brisket, a lot of the people that actually have this equipment is they get to put those brisket trimmings to good use. They can grind it up, they can make burgers, they can make sausage out of it. A lot of times I would just throw that away just because I didn't have an alternative. And it killed me because I absolutely hate wasting food. And so now when you're doing your brisket trims, you don't have to be like, well, I don't want to trim too much because it's going to go to, it's like you can actually do a nice brisket trim and not have to worry because all those scraps are actually going to be cut up and put to good use. That fat to meat ratio you can mix up, you can make some burgers. Probably one of the first things I'm going to do with this is literally you could take a whole tri-tip and then just make tri-tip burgers. And sadly, once you go that route, there is no coming back. The burgers is just, there's just so much flavor there. So good. So I cannot wait for that. But to think that you could do cold smoking and then, like those Slim Jims.
Never do a Slim Jim.
Make your own. I mean, that's going to be so cool. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to put these bad boys in use. Thank you guys for watching.